It was the first day of the festival of unleavened bread. Jesus sent 2 of his disciples ahead to prepare the Passover meal in a large upstairs room in Jerusalem. That evening, Jesus and the 12 disciples sat down together. As they reclined at the table, the meal began. Jesus looked around at his friends and said, "I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer." As they ate, Jesus took the bread. He gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to them, saying, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Then he took a cup and gave thanks, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, poured out for you." The disciples looked at each other quietly. They didn't understand everything yet, but they listened carefully. Jesus then said something that made their hearts heavy. "Truly, I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." The disciples became very sad. One by one, they asked, "Surely not I, Lord." Jesus answered, "It is the one who dips bread into the bowl with me." Then Judas Iscariot, who would later betray him, quietly asked, "Surely not I, Rabbi?" Jesus replied, "You have said so." During the meal, Jesus got up, wrapped a towel around his waist, and began to wash his disciples' feet. The disciples were amazed, their teacher and Lord kneeling like a servant. Jesus told them, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." Then he said something they would never forget. "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." After the meal, they sang a hymn together. Then Jesus led them out toward the Mount of Olives. The night was quiet, but everything was about to change. After the Last Supper, Jesus and his disciples left the upper room and walked into the night. They crossed the Kidron Valley and entered a quiet place called the Garden of Gethsemane. It was filled with olive trees and moonlight. Jesus told his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took Peter, James, and John a little farther. Then he became troubled and sorrowful. He said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Jesus walked a bit farther, knelt on the ground, and prayed, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." He prayed with great sorrow, and his sweat fell like drops of blood. When he returned, the disciples were asleep. He said, "Couldn't you keep watch with me for 1 hour?" He went away again and prayed a second time, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done." Again he found the disciples sleeping. Their eyes were heavy. Jesus prayed a third time, then stood and said, "Look, the hour has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." And just then Judas arrived with soldiers and torches. He walked up to Jesus and gave him a kiss, the sign of betrayal. The guard stepped forward and seized Jesus. But Jesus didn't fight. He didn't run. He looked at the crowd and said, "This is your hour, when darkness reigns." And so Jesus was taken away while his friends fled in fear. After Jesus was arrested, he was taken to the high priest. False witnesses told lies about him, but Jesus stayed silent. When the high priest asked, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?" Jesus replied, "I am." The leaders became angry and decided he must die. Early in the morning, Jesus was taken to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. Though Pilate found no fault in him, the crowd shouted, "Crucify him!" Pilate washed his hands and handed Jesus over. The soldiers mocked him. They put a purple robe on him, placed a crown of thorns on his head, and said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They hit him and spit on him. Then they gave him a heavy wooden cross to carry. Jesus, weak and wounded, walked through the streets of Jerusalem. The people watched. Some wept. Others mocked. A man named Simon from Cyrene was pulled from the crowd to help carry the cross. At a place called Golgotha, meaning the place of the skull, they nailed Jesus to the cross. One criminal was crucified on his right and another on his left. Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they are doing." The soldiers cast lots to divide his clothes. People shouted, "If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." But Jesus stayed, not because he had to, but because he loved us. Around noon, the sky turned dark. It stayed dark for 3 hours. Then Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And he breathed his last. The earth shook. Rocks split. The temple curtain tore from top to bottom. A Roman centurion standing near the cross said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." Jesus had finished the mission he came for, because his love never gave up. Very early on the first day of the week, as the sun began to rise, 3 women walked toward the tomb. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome carried spices to honor Jesus. But as they walked, they wondered, "Who will roll the stone away for us?" When they arrived, they were shocked. The stone had already been rolled away, and the tomb was empty. Suddenly, 2 men in shining clothes appeared beside them. The women fell to the ground in fear. But the angels said, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen." The women were filled with joy and ran to tell the disciples what they had seen. At first, the disciples didn't believe them. But soon, Jesus appeared, alive. He came to Mary Magdalene in the garden. She cried with joy when he said her name. Jesus also appeared to 2 men walking on the road to Emmaus. He explained the scriptures, and when he broke bread with them, they realized it was him. Then he appeared to his disciples, saying, "Peace be with you." He showed them his hands and feet. He was not a ghost. He had truly risen. Jesus said, "Go into all the world and tell the good news." And so, the story of Easter spread, one of life, love, and hope that never ends. Jesus is alive, and because he lives, we can live forever with him. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.